Hello, everyone. Good afternoon or good morning if you are listening from the other side of the ocean. This is our second webinar on the Tenerife Walking Festival. Yesterday we had amazing experiences in islands, and today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic. We all know hiking trails, very well known hiking trails. These routes are hypnotic and very attractive for hikers. These are great experiences, and in this session, we are going to listen to some of these experiences and how hiking can involve an improvement for these areas, or how hiking can make a difference in a territory. So today we also have the help of Mar Rodriguez. She's a biologist and journalist expert in nature tourism. Good afternoon, Mar, or good morning. Thank you very much for being with us again in Tenerife, in this Tenerife Walking Festival, and thank you for talking about these special routes. These are unique routes. So we are going to travel up to the sky. And this is because we are going to listen to three different and very interesting experiences. These are, as I already said, unique experiences. We are going to start with one of the most beautiful and attractive routes in the world. We are talking about the Inca Trail. We are traveling to Peru, and this country has decided this year to focus on nature and adventure tourism. I think this is a great idea, and this is a reflection of how tourism has changed in the last year. They have been working hard in this sense, and we are going to introduce Pepe López, which is the president of the Asociación Peruana de Turismo de Aventura, APTAE. He has also created a company, a very well-known company, and one of the first adventure companies, tourist companies in Peru. So, Pepe, please, I give you the floor so you can explain us the Inca Trail. So, good morning, everyone. I'm very pleased to be here today in this festival held in Tenerife. Well, Tenerife is an iconic place, it's a well-known place, and I think with this festival, Tenerife will be also known worldwide, and this is a very intelligent way to promote the island. So we know to we need to discover new places, to experience new moments. Nowadays, trends are changing due to the pandemic, and we need to discover unique places and varied places. So I'm going to start with my presentation. I'm director. No, I'm not the director. I'm the representative of this association, APTAE. And thank you very much for inviting me to be here. So I'm ready. As you already said, Mar, the Inca Trail is one of the main attractions in Peru. And with this trend and with this new reality we are currently living, hiking and adventure tourism is going to be the most important one and the most demanded in the coming future. The Inca Trail is uh, an icon. And in my presentation, I'm going to talk to you about the problems and the challenges we are facing. These problems have changed in the past year, and we are also facing new challenges. And we hope to open this trail again, and we don't want to harm local communities. We want to find a balance between this trail and the agricultural side. This trail is located in a national park, and we want to preserve all this. So I'm going to talk to you about all these topics, and if you have questions, I hope we can address them at the end of my presentation. So APTAE is the Asociación Peruana de Turismo de Aventura. It is 30 years old. Our partners manage the hostels, and they want to support regions and also the government to take decisions regarding the new way of working to find a safe tourism. And we want this destination to be a proper destination and a safe destination for everyone. Apumayo Expediciones is the company. I founded 25 years ago. Since the beginning, we have been dealing with a different type of tourism, an unconventional tourism related to nature and adventure. We have been focusing in, let's say, a commercial tourism with expeditions, with hardcore tourism. We have a narrow market, and we had very difficulties at the beginning because we needed to be well prepared for our trips, but little by little we learned, and at the beginning we were focusing on a very commercial tourism, but we wanted to work with a different type of tourism, with a non-conventional tourism, with new routes. We wanted to find diversification because unfortunately for one side, but fortunately for the other side, Machu Picchu is a very, very well-known place in Peru, and all tourists in this country is focused on Machu Picchu. So we wanted to diversify our offer and find new routes. This year we are 27 years old, and we are members of different institutions that support us. We want to guarantee, to ensure tour operators and tourists we can offer our variety of trails. We also must comply with some regulations. We must be eco-friendly, an eco-friendly company. And we also need to work hard, hand by hand, with authorities. We must develop new protocols and new safety standards. Our agenda is also focused on rivers, on mountains. We have clean rivers, and we want to launch an educational message, not also for tourists but also for locals. We have also carried out reforestation plans in the areas where we are working, especially in Cusco, where we are based. We do this regularly, and we also give a tree to every single tourist. We had this carbon compensation certificate in order to compensate the carbon footprint. We managed to obtain this certification before the pandemic, and we hope to keep this certification after the pandemic. This is in our DNA since the beginning. Nowadays, with this new reality, since the last month of July, even if we are closing, we have carried out some COVID protocols and procedures in order to manage how we are going to carry out our tours and our routes. We want to show the authorities and the health department that we are able to offer our trails. We are working hard to offer our routes, and we are a safe company. And we want to protect both tourists and both locals, of course. The Inca trails, and if we talk about history, well, maybe you already know even better than me. In the Inca kingdom, there were a route of trails from the north part of the country to the south part, from Ecuador to Colombia or Argentina. This was a route of trails called in Quechua Capañá, which means a royal route or a main route. Every time the Inca Empire conquered a new territory, this route was become bigger and bigger. And this route was more and more important when they were conquering new territories. And these routes involves deserts, sea, mountains, ravines, rivers, and they also built pending bridges. They were very, very good with engineering. They knew how to do with unevenness. They wanted to create routes as flat as possible so they can get products or things from one side to the other side, and normally they use llamas. As you can see in this map, we are near the equator. In the coast, we are near the Pacific Ocean, and the center and the south are different from the north, because in the south part of the island has the influence of the Atacama Desert, and the north part is different. We also have the Andes Mountains, more than 6,000 meters high. And then in the east side, we have the Amazonas with different mountains around 3,000 meters. So Peru has a wide variety of fauna, of flora, different type of mountains, and there is a great difference between the north of part of the country and the south part of the country. Can you please go to the previous slide? Cusco, you can find it here on the map in the south part of the country. Cusco is here, is one of the most important region of the country, and it was the cradle of the Inca Empire. Now we are in Cusco, in the red dot, and this is what you have to do if you want to do the Inca Trail. Cusco is a very high place, so we need to get used to this place. And then at the 82 kilometers, this is the place where this route starts. Sometimes people want to practice and do some previous routes before facing the real Machu Picchu route. This is the map of the Inca Trail itself. On the right side, at the Inca Trail checkpoint, this is the place where we must submit our authorizations, and we must introduce our equipment. Every equipment and all food, everything, this must be carried by carriers. They normally bring special rucksacks with a maximum weight. There is a maximum number of carriers, and in this checkpoint we must comply with all these requirements, and they are very, very strict. And as I already said, these carriers can only bring a maximum weight. We need to go through a passage, a 4,000 passage. Then we need to go through Puna, and then from the second day we go through a transition place between the Andes and the Amazonas, and this is an amazing place because from this point we can see the importance of the engineering together with the forest and the transition between the Andes forest and the Amazonas forest. We can see different type of flora, fauna, birds. We also have endemic animals in this area, the monstruo de anteojos, if we are able to see it. The Inca Trail has two options. The first one is a 4-day trail, and now it's obviously closed due to the pandemic because we are developing some protocols. And then we also have the one route trail. You can get there through by train, the yellow trail, and then if you go to Machu Picchu, you can do it in just one day. And this route is also linked with the 4-day trail. If you don't have much time, you can do this 1-day trail, and it is a very good way to discover the Machu Picchu. You can go through the forest, you can discover new very important geological processes in this area. So with this trail you can enjoy this experience if you don't have much time and if you don't want to stay long in this area. Regarding the history of the Inca Trail, we started with this Inca Trail from a tourist point of view around the 60s. There were people linked with nature, nature lovers, like the hippies of this decade. You had to find some locals, some carriers, and you could do the trail without no controls. And this was done in these ways till the 80s, when this trail became more popular. And these trails is part of the protected trails in Peru and is regulated by the Ministry of Culture of our country. So it was decided to regulate this trail because hikers, well, not everyone wanted to preserve nature. They don't take the rubbish, so they kind of destroy the landscape. They even try to steal some things. They try to steal some tombs. So they damage the environment and they didn't take the rubbish. So that's why the Ministry of Culture, the CERNAM, which is a body dependent on the Ministry of the Environment, this is the reason why they decided to regulate the Inca Trail, and from 2000 only the companies with permission they started to have access to this reserve area. They had to submit documentation in order to obtain permission, and this was so till 2018, when the situation changed, and now the companies, we had a contract, a state contract, and we are like official companies operating in this area. So if you want to go and you want to do this Inca Trail, you need to do it through an agency, through an authorized company, and you need to comply with the requirements, of course. And then you can visit the Inca Trail, of course. Now we are going to watch a video. This is an example of the 4-day trail and an example of how we work, so you can have an idea of how the trail is. This is the experience of the Inca Trails. Go ahead.
El Camino Inca es una experiencia sobrecogedora. Realmente puedes lograr llegar a tus límites y a la vez estar totalmente extasiado con la naturaleza.
My favorite part about hiking the Inca Trail with Apumayo was the privacy of all of the campgrounds. It felt like we were all by ourselves every morning when we woke up and had the views all to ourselves, the mountains. The service was impeccable. It was always ready for us wherever we arrived, whether it was lunch and tea time. It was dinner or breakfast, and having coffee on top of a mountain this morning for our last day was spectacular. Overall, I would definitely do a trek with Apumayo, and I would highly recommend doing the Inca Trail with them to anybody who wants this incredible experience.
Pepe, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your interesting presentation, and especially for opening us the Inca Trail doors and other trails you are preparing for this post-pandemic scenario. We feel encouraged to go and to do these trails, and then I think people will be asking you some questions. And now we are traveling back to Europe, and we are traveling to the Spanish mainland. This is a well-known place for the senses, for the smell. We are talking about Teruel, and we are talking about the heritage surrounding Teruel. People in the area, they have worked hard throughout the decades, and we are talking about the Matarraña regions. We all know Teruel exists, but maybe these trails are those which are important to be known. We have here with us today Eli Diez. She wants to build bridges, and she wants to create other type of tourists, a slow tourist link with nature. Eli, please go ahead and tell us more about this Matarraña region. Now, so good afternoon, everyone, or good morning. Thank you very much for this super presentation, Mar. First, thank you very much to the Tenerife Walking Festival for this invitation and for the opportunity to be here. First, the title of my presentation is based on love. A destination is made of people, their relationships, their interaction. Territories are in need of people who are in love for their nature, people who don't want to destroy nature. They are the best prescribers of these territories, and they just want to preserve the area. In the case of the Matarraña regions, the locals are proud of their traditions, of their landscapes, and you can enjoy this landscape through trails. Matarraña regions is full of trails with different options. We will talk about this later. And thanks to the locals, thanks to the people link with this area, they are the perfect prescribers. The key for this positioning is the value of love, the love for our territory. I also want to thank the local authorities in Teruel to promote this Matarraña region. Teruel is full of raw materials. We are made of 10 micro regions and we are all connected. We have more than 6,000 trails, so we can go from one side to the other side of the province. As we don't have much time, we have the video of the tourist authority in Teruel. So first, we are going to see a ham in Teruel. Well, you can go to this place and discover a wonderful land. You can go and practice hiking, discover epic landscape, live amazing experiences. Each landscape is like a movie. We hope to see you here soon. We don't want to be a pending destination. We want to be the main destination. You can enjoy the sun, the rivers. You can go fast. You can be quiet, but at the same time live thrilling experiences. You can live on villages and in cities. This is all you can discover in Teruel more than ever. I don't know if you can listen the audio of the video. Well, we are going to continue with the presentation. The Matarraña region, we are located in the province of Teruel. You can access by road. Our nearest airports are located in Zaragoza, Castellón, and Barcelona. The province of Teruel is a very wide area, 14,800 square kilometers. There is not much population in this area. The Matarraña region is an alive region. It has a strong identity. So in order for you to get to know this area, I invite you to watch this video of the region, please. The Matarraña region is a unique territory, a Mediterranean territory. We are close with the Tarragona province and the Castellón province. In a straight line, we are around 20 kilometers away from the sea. We are separated from this point. We have these amazing mountains. So from Teruel we can see the sea far away. This Matarraña region is made of 18 villages. Most of them, they are amazing. They are full of essence, full of identity. We are in total 8,200 inhabitants, 9 inhabitants per square kilometers. In this region, we have been working as a tourist destination since 2012. At the beginning, there were only 800 beds, and now we have 2,838 beds in total. In the average, we have normally 22 beds per accommodation. These are family accommodations, and they try to protect the architecture, the local architecture of the area. The families have renovated the old houses, masías, like farm houses, for example, or monasteries, mills, paper houses. So in total, we have nearly 2,000 accommodations. We had 9 active tourist companies, 8 taxis. We have food companies, around 90 food companies. We produce honey, cheese, wine. I'm quite nervous, so I'm forgetting for sure some products, but on our website you can find a list of products. We have 27 leisure centers and museums. Our natural heritage is very important. We have these lakes, like common important places, for example, the Matarraña river, with clean waters. You can see your feet through the waters. These clean waters made possible, for example, some fishes to be here, also the trout, the otters, they all live here. We also have the Algar's river, an affluent. And this river goes through the Aragon Autonomous Community and also Catalunya. We have also the Beceite Mountains, which is around 177 square kilometers long. We also have a protected area for birds, the Puertos de Beceite. We have griffon vultures, dippers, golden eagles. We also have the Hispanic goats, etc. In this area, we also have peaks, geological point of interest. For example, the Huidemont River is also an affluent from the Matarraña River, and this is particularly important because the temperature of this river is similar to that of the Mediterranean Sea. The water here is different. To see this river, you can do a special route, and this is one of our jewels in this Matarraña region. And definitely is a route I very recommend. We also have other geological point of interest, like the Salt de la Portellada or the Masmut, Roques de Masmut in Peñarroya. This river, the Salt de la Portellada, is also an affluent from the Matarraña. The Masmut rocks, Roques de Masmut, as I already said, is another jewel we can find in this Matarraña region. We also have geological areas of interest, for example, the Gubies del Parrizal and the conglomerados de Peñagalera. This is located in the south of the region, the Peñagalera and Beceite, and this place is awarded as an area of geological interest. We also have cultural heritage here in the Matarraña region. We have 5 places which have been declared as cultural point of interest: Beceite, Calaceite, Rafales, Las Fresneda and Valderrobes. We also have cave paintings, tombs, Gothic, Baroque monuments. We have a special festival here, the Antoni Festival, which is held on January the 17th. This Matarraña region, as I already said, is an emerging territory. In 2008, we started to define what we wanted to attract, what type of visitors we wanted to come here. In order to explain you how we define this type of profile, I'm going to show you this video, please. I don't know if you can listen to the video. The video cannot be listened, cannot be heard. Well, let's wait a minute because the audio cannot be listened. This model includes the strategy, what we want, what type of tourists we wanted to attract. And this was our idea. We wanted a balanced development. We want to respect cultural and natural values of our territory, and we wanted to also create a future with opportunity for everyone. This is the strategic idea. This idea has been very useful for us in order to promote our products and our territory. And we have followed 3 guides. First, the social development, the respect for the territory, and the respect for cultural and natural values. And we want to protect nature and local economy. We want to promote respect, coherence, solidarity, and promotion. I don't know if we have the video now, not yet. Yes, let's wait a second. Matarraña with the 5 senses.
Hace años, en la comarca del Matarraña, en Teruel, Aragón, comenzamos a pensar en qué nos gustaría ser. Unimos a todos los sectores económicos, sociales e institucionales, y tras mucho trabajar y debatir, decidimos que queríamos que el Matarraña tuviera un desarrollo equilibrado y comprometido para crear un futuro de oportunidades para las personas. Acordamos que la sostenibilidad sería un valor que estaría presente en todos nuestros proyectos. Y ¿sabéis qué? Que a las personas que nos visitan les gusta ese valor, porque mantiene nuestra identidad y alimenta nuestros sentidos.
place.
Vista. Verás
First,
las estrellas por la
sight.
noche. Apreciarás
At
la
night, you
transparencia
will
del agua
watch
de
the
nuestros ríos.
star. You will
Contemplarás
enjoy
animales
our
salvajes
clean
en libertad.
waters. You will
Te
see
integrarás en un territorio virgen,
wild
pero también
animals.
verás el paso de la historia en nuestro espectacular
And you will
patrimonio.
enjoy our cultural heritage too.
Oído. Hay lugares en los que estás tú solo.
Hearing,
Solo
you can be
escucharás los
all
sonidos de la
alone. You
naturaleza.
will just listen
Y
nature.
también los de nuestras
And
tradiciones.
then you will
El
discover
crepitar del
our
fuego, nuestra
traditions.
lengua. Olfato. Cada
Smell.
estación tiene su aroma
Every
característico.
season
A
has
tierra
a
mojada,
different
a hierbas
smell.
aromáticas, a la flor del almendro y siempre a aire puro. ¿Recuerdas cómo
You
olían
will
los guisos de
enjoy
tu abuela?
opener. Do
¿Te
you know?
gustaría
Do you
volver a
remember
probarlos en
the
versión
smell of
original
your
o
grandma's
con un toque de
food?
innovación?
Well, you
Tenemos para
can
elegir.
enjoy
Tacto.
these smells
Siempre
again.
recibirás un trato
Touch.
especial.
You will
Nuestros
always
establecimientos
feel
son pequeños y
welcome in our
familiares.
accommodation.
Te
These
preocupan
accommodations
por tus
are
gustos
small
y te
and
sentirás
they want
acogido por la
you to
población local.
feel
Formarás parte de
comfortable
la comunidad.
in them. You will
Notarás
be
que
part
aquí hasta la luz es
of
especial,
local
y
communities.
te irás
Even light
relajado,
is special here, and you
desestresado,
will feel
con
very,
experiencias
very
que abren tu
relaxed
mente y con
and
paz
calm.
interior.
You will have a new mind, a new point of view. One of our tools we have used in order to develop this territory is based on first the landscape, the guidelines for territory, the Agenda 21, the landscape map, the urban counseling services, the catalog of farmhouses, the management of rubbish, the creation of infrastructures, and the tourist development plan. We are very competitive, a very competitive territory, and we try to connect the natural resources and also the tourist attractions and people. And we have always created the brand Marca Calidad Territorial Matarraña. This is a brand which is working very, very good nowadays. As we don't have much time, let's go ahead. This Matarraña region is divided in different network of trails. For example, the BTT Lo Llaurador, Camino Natural Matarraña Algarz, GR8, Equestrian Path, Small Path, Local Path, and Vía Verde, the Green Path. And in this last path, you can go from Aragon to the sea. Thank you very much, Ellie. We are going to finish as quickly as possible. If you have something left, please go ahead. Well, the Vía Verde path is an old train road. It disappeared in the 70s, and now it has become a natural path. And you can go from Aragon to the sea. You can do it by bike, for example. And we have several services surround this path. This is a picture of you have the possibility to do this path by bike, for example. The Vía Verde, the Matarraña or Val de Zafán, you can go through the Matarraña River and the Argals rivers. And even in summer, you can swim in these rivers too. The other route I want to mention is the natural path Matarraña Algarz. This path links the GR7 from Andorra to Gibraltar, and the GR99, which is the natural path of the Ebro. It is 1,200 kilometers from Fontibre, and this route goes along the Low Aragon, Terra Alta and Matarraña. It is made of 12 or 13 stages, and it goes from the mountains to the sea or the Ebro River. And we are a network of private and public entities. We want to create new opportunities. We want to be an added value. So from these big routes, we also have a small route, for example, that connecting the Vía Verde or the natural path Matarraña-Algarves, for example, the Ruta de los Olivos of Matarraña. Thank you very much. I hope to see you soon in this Matarraña region. We are here, of course, if you want to come. Thank you very much, Eli. Thank you very much for opening so many paths. We don't want to see the sea. We just want to stay in Teruel. Later, I'm sure we will have a lot of questions regarding this Matarraña region. And now we are traveling to Tenerife again. There are many women with us in the opening day. We discovered Tenerife was one of the most important destinations for mountaineering, and many women practice mountaineering here in Tenerife. And we are talking about the 040 route. This is the route with the greatest slope in Spain and one with the greatest slope in the world. So now we have here Juan Carlos Álvarez, who is tourist technicians in Turismo de Tenerife, and also Vicente Infante. Vicente Infante is part of the Tenerife Island Mountaineering Federation. So please go ahead. Yes, do you listen to me? Yes, of course. Thank you very much for the presentation, Mar. It is very difficult in just a few minutes. We could be talking for hours. I'm going to do a small presentation. I'm part of the Mountaineering Federation. We are around 7,000 people here in Tenerife. We are the most important group in Spain. Not everyone in this federation hike, but most of us hike, of course. Hiking is very well known today, and I truly recommend you to go to the information centers or to official websites in order to know what is hiking, what can you do. So if you want to enter this wall, if you want to discover this mountaineering wall, I truly recommend you to go to our website, the website of the Mountaineering Federation, because mountaineering is not the same as hiking. We offer different activities, particularly hiking activities. And one of these activities, this activity started like 30 years ago, and this route started 3 decades ago from the Socorro to the Teide. There were other routes from Garachico to El Teide, another one from the south to El Teide, but this route was special. It was amazing how you can go in just one day from the sea to the top of Mount Teide. This is the scheme. You can do it just by foot. Most of people can do this in just one day, but you need to be calm. This is quite a challenge. If you are not fit, for example, you can prepare. And for example, if you do the Camino de Santiago, well, why not? You can go to the top of Mount Teide in just one day. This was a strong route, a particular route, because it started from the sea level. People, even not people fit or specialized people in hiking or in mountaineering, they decided to do it. And visitors want to find other type of tourism. If you are in Puerto de la Cruz, you can see the top of Mount Teide. You can go from this beach, the Socorro Beach, to the top of Mount Teide, and this is amazing. And normally we spend 12, 13 hours. You can do it perfectly in this time. If you want, you can start at night or even at 6 in the evening. Or if you want to enjoy the moon, this is the landscape you can see near the top of Mount Teide when the sun rises. So if you want to face this challenge, I'm sure you can do it. You can start, just be calm and walk for 12 or 13 hours. And if you cannot do it, it doesn't matter. You can try another day. At the beginning, this was aimed at mountaineering people or hikers, not for ordinary people. Before this route, there were other routes, of course, 50 years ago. For example, the Faro Faro Trail, the Lighthouse to Lighthouse Trail. But this trail is special because it's just one day. You started at the Socorro Beach and then you go to the top of Mount Teide. This is the challenge. It seems quite easy to draw, but this is exactly the challenge I'm offering. You cross just one road once in Ico del Alto. You can start in the evening, then see the moon, and then just walk throughout the night. In this slide, you can see the slope. The distance is 26.5 kilometers each stage. I recommend, if you want to do it, just please go to the Island Council website and search for 040 route. You can see what you need and what you can do in order to face this challenge. You can go to the Socorro Beach. This is an amazing beach for surfing. And these are the different stops. Time is approximately around 12 or 13 hours. You must rest for some time, drink water. Even if you are fit, maybe you cannot finish this route because you don't feel well. It doesn't matter. You can try another day. Then this was just a route to go from the sea level to the top of Mount Teide. But then people started to go the other way around. For example, in Lanzarote, we had the 07 route. And each island has a route with a consecutive number. In Tenerife, we have almost 4,000 meters height. At the beginning, we recommended this path only for experts for mountaineering. And there are many visitors interested in this path. And hiking, the purpose of hiking is to promote local economy. We may think, well, just take a taxi or buy some food, but hiking promotes many other things. It's not just going to the beach. We are seeing other type of tourists, for example, experts, runners. I don't know if these runners are humans or if they just come from another planet, because they can do this trail, this 12, 13 hours trail. Well, in this picture, sorry, you can see the laurel, the forest. And when you go out of this forest, here it will be great to walk under the moon and then see the sunrises, see the moon. This is one of the most amazing landscapes to see under the moon. It is very, very grateful. And if we reach this point, we need to think, well, I'm going to the top or I'm going to leave. In this slide, we are just at 3,000 meters height, and if we reach this point, we are going to continue. If you reach this point, please stop the slide here. Here we are at 3,500 meters above sea level. And if you do this by foot, it will be great to arrive here nearly sunrise. You must have permission. Not everyone can do this. If you are not used to hike, I recommend you to start with other routes. In Tenerife, we have approximately 1,200 kilometers of path, and then you can start with easier path and then try this challenge. Maybe there are many people listening who thinks, oh my god, this is amazing, I cannot do this, but definitely I think almost everyone can do this, and this is a challenge. This is a good example of the sunset. In the sunrise, you can see the shadow of the Teide over La Gomera. And if you reach the top of Mount Teide, you can see the other islands. If you walk under the moon, you will feel different. If you think this is not enough, I will definitely say this is the cone of Mount Teide. You can use the cable car. If you do it by foot, you can do the other way around. You can do the return trip in around 20 hours. You must have permission, as I already said, and if you want to have more information, just please go to the Island Council website and you will find this route. Please stop here. The other one, the next one, please. Okay. And as you can see here, there is an athlete here. In 6 hours and 18 minutes, an athlete from here, from Tenerife, finished this return trip. He lives nearby in Santa Ursula, and he normally goes to the top of the mountain and go around. And in this running wall, for example, David Luzardo is a well-known athlete. This one here in the slide is one of the most important one. He has broken the record. He just go to the top of the mountain in less than 6 hours. He touched the water and then go to the top of the mountain in less than 6 hours. These people are like superheroes. And this 040 route, not only Mount Teide, this is a very good way to promote the island. You can go to the Teide, it's great attractive. You can go also by bus and take some pictures in the special places. But these runners coming here to Tenerife, they are also a very good way to promote the island, because they are like superheroes. I was there and I saw this record. I couldn't imagine. He arrived back to the beach and he was smiling. He was running for almost 6 years and then he was like nothing happened. He was smiling. This was a great advertising for the island. You could see this record in all the newspapers, so I hope to see many runners like these. I'm sure not everyone will do it just in once. Maybe they need to try several times, but I truly recommend to do this trail, especially for those staying at Puerto de la Cruz. We need to promote this route and see the different landscape, the different geological areas we can see from the seaside to the top of the mountain. I'm sure you all know the Mount Teide, or the vents of our volcano. This is an active volcano. You can walk by night. This is very attractive. Maybe you think it is a lot to do the return trip. Well, but I truly recommend to do this. It's just 12 hours, 13 hours. I truly recommend you to try it, and maybe you can ask a friend to pick you up at the national park when you finish. And now my colleague Juan Carlos is going to show you some interesting information. So I'm going to finish here my presentation. This is a brief presentation of this route. I don't have much to say. I'm going to give the floor to Juan Carlos. Well, Juan Carlos, please go ahead. Thank you very much, Mar. Thank you, Vicente, because your presentation was a good start to explain our work in the administration. In our case, this route was very important on the internet, and we made it official. Every time we talk about the 040 route, this is a good example of governability, of governance. There were many people working on this route, many people from the environmental department, from protected area services, from locals. Tenerife almost have 50% of its territory. It is a protected territory. So we need to find an agreement among different agents, the road department, the environmental department, the different authorities, as I said, and even locals and the town council of Los Realejos. Then, from Turismo de Tenerife, we draw the project, we draw the path. There were different ideas about how to do the path, but we managed to reach an agreement, and we managed to draw a positive path. Then we have the technical department of the tourist area, and they design the infrastructure of this path. They not also drew the path, but they also put some signals, and they used a handbook for signaling, etc. Well, I just want to sum up. This is now an official path, and we want to contribute to both things. First, there are many sports people coming here to do this route, but this is also a possibility to create a tourist product, and this is thanks to natural companies. These companies offer this route not in just one day or in, for example, 2 days. If you want to stay in an accommodation, you can stay in different accommodations. You can also hire a guide too, and this is the creation of a product. And I also want to highlight the protection of this area. This is a path with different mini path, let's say it. And at the beginning, it wasn't an official path, but now, yes, this is an official path with a lot of signals, and you must follow this path. I think we are running out of time, so please watch the video. This is a good summary of this 040 route for hikers. The last edition of the Tenerife Walking Festival, together with Sebastián Álvaro, with our sponsor, we are all working to create the first mountaineering group in Pakistan. This is a good example.
Y estoy incluyendo el Himalaya, puedes hacer un desnivel de 3.718 metros. Y eso empieza en la playa, tocando agua, es una especie de rito. Y todas estas rutas yo creo que también tienen algo de peregrinaje, que tiene que ver con lo físico, pero también que tiene que ver con lo espiritual. Desde la antigüedad, la isla de Tenerife ha jugado un papel clave. Y ha jugado un papel clave porque posee una montaña que, naciendo un volcán, que naciendo del fondo del océano se ha convertido en la montaña más alta de España. Incluso durante muchísimo tiempo, para toda la gente de la antigüedad que llegaba y venía de Tenerife, bien de las Américas, bien de África, el pico del Teide en realidad era un faro que guiaba a toda la gente. Hoy en día, que ha pasado mucho tiempo, podemos echar la vista atrás y ver todo lo que ha significado. El volcán del Teide no solamente es la montaña más alta de España hoy en día, es el punto más elevado de la isla de Tenerife, es un lugar que podría ser, digamos, el símbolo de un paraíso natural, que es lo que hoy en día es Tenerife. En Tenerife nació buena parte de lo que entendemos por montañismo, buena parte de la geografía, buena parte de muchos de los esquemas mentales que los españoles traspasaron a América, y gracias a eso el volcán del Teide se ha terminado convirtiendo en un modelo. Así que estamos realmente en un punto privilegiado, que tiene que ver con el conocimiento humano, que tiene que ver con todo aquello que nos hace mejores, que es entrar, digamos, desvelar parcelas de lo desconocido, porque todavía hoy en día sabemos que lo que conocemos es una gota de agua en lo conocido, ¿no? Así que hacer la ruta 040 no solamente es subir a la montaña más alta de España, ¿no? Por supuesto. Es una ruta que simboliza todas esas emociones, todos esos sentimientos, el sentimiento de la montaña, el sentimiento de la geografía, el sentimiento de los volcanes, que nos demuestran que la Tierra está viva, que está dinámica, que está completamente haciéndose y deshaciéndose, pero al mismo tiempo es una ruta que simboliza el senderismo y, por tanto, una de las actividades, yo diría que la actividad más saludable para el organismo, para los humanos. Subir además desde la playa del Socorro a la cumbre del Teide, que nos ha costado, porque nos hemos pegado una panzada a caminar, exige esfuerzo, exige paciencia también, para saber que vas a tener que ir a tu ritmito, pero bueno, todas las montañas, para disfrutarlas hay que ganárselas, y el Teide esta vez nos lo hemos ganado.
Be aware that you are going to do it. You are going to manage to reach to the top of the mountain.
Joder, macho, que nos está haciendo todo.
पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद España जिंदाबाद Tenerife जिंदाबाद Tenerife जिंदाबाद
Thank you very much, Juan Carlos and Vicente, for these emotions from this video. And now we are going to ask you some questions. We are running out of time. This is very, very exciting. So first, I would like to do a summary. We are here in Tenerife, and this island is promoting this Charter of Sustainability for Nature Activities. We have seen true jewels. from Peru. Pepe told us about the importance of operators in order to promote natural tourism, a safe tourism, a type of tourism respecting the necessities of tourism. This is a protective route by the UNESCO, the Machu Picchu route. And they are working hard in order to continue improving these trails. And they also try to respect some standards, some international standards, in order for visitors to feel safe in this place. And finally, this natural commitment. This is already part of all companies' DNA. For example, cleaning beaches. This is what I can say from Peru, but also we feel very, very touched when we arrive to Matarraña. This is a very special territory. The locals love this territory, and they are also working hard in order to value this territory from a sustainable point of view. They want to promote local development and how they want to stay in this place. They want to respect the cultural and natural values. And this is very important. They want to love this territory and not destroy it. And finally, we have this path, the 040 path. I'm sure we will do it not as an athlete, but this is one of the most important activities. You can do it in Tenerife. So I think, well, you can do this route. If you cannot do it throughout, if you cannot do it the whole route, you can do it step by step. And well, I would like to close this intervention with the governance Juan Carlos already mentioned. This is very important because the companies in this sector are those responsible for the governance. These companies are responsible for this type of tourism we are promoting nowadays. Maybe this pandemic was necessary in order to change the type of tourism we wanted. I think these are truly 3 jewels. And now I'm going to ask you some questions. Well, please, Pepe, the Inca Trail has a lot of questions, and I think, well, this is one of the most attractive tourist destinations. The regulations are going to be the same, and the load capacity is going to be the same after the pandemic. Well, little by little, everything is being reopening nowadays. Yes, we are opening, and the capacity is around 30-40%. For example, in Machu Picchu, for open air places, of course. If you go to museums and closed spaces, it depends on the area, but the capacity is around 20 or 30%. The capacity is limited, of course. And in Machu Picchu, even before the pandemic, we had the problem of over-tourism. There was a bit of disorder, and we had to take some measures. There were some new routes, new times to visit the Machu Picchu. And well, we want to increase the number of visitors, but we always want to regulate the number of visitors, the times, etc. And this is these are all the things we are working on nowadays. We don't want many people, we don't want to increase the maximum capacity. Well, one question. Do you think this positioning you are working on is good for you nowadays due to the situation, Nelly? Yes, definitely. I think this is a great advantage for us. You can go by foot throughout the Matarraña region and find nobody. Maybe you can find a farmer with his olive trees, or a shepherd. On the other hand, we have different landscapes. In the north part of the region, we can find agricultural landscapes, and then we can find in the south part mountainous regions. We know each other. In total, there are 22 people per accommodations. So this is a region where we have learned how to protect this area, and this is a great value for us. Thank you, Eli. Juan Carlos, one question. What kind of offer can we find here in this route? What is the profile? Well, for us it's very, very important the creation of a tourist product. And we have different natural companies involved in this project. These companies are the expert, the one connecting the resources, the one offering services, and these all give an added value to this route. For example, companies are offering 2 days hiking, accommodation, routes with guides. These are the type of offers we can already see nowadays. Pepe, one question. Regarding local communities, how are they involved in these projects? They are trained? Yes, the Inca Trail is a product where the local communities are very, very involved. For example, we have the carriers. These carriers live in local communities. I think they are normally the 3rd generation doing this job now. And this is a good combination of agriculture, nature, and also carriers. And other communities are important because this Inca Trail go through this community, and they provide food, accommodation. They offer these carrier services, drinks. And all these services have suffered from this pandemic because everything is closed or almost closed. There are around 4,000 carriers in our network, and we are 200 operators. And the numbers of guides and the numbers of people working in this network is around 40,000 people. And local communities are those particularly affected because they offer services to these agencies, and now if everything is closed, they cannot earn money, of course. And this is part of the challenge we are facing, and is how we can involve these local communities, because if we are talking about social distancing, etc., well, how can we involve local communities in this situation? And I think we are going to create a new model, a new improved model, we must involve again local communities in this new model, and bearing in mind health, of course, nowadays. But definitely is a trail involving local communities, of course. And hiking, there are companies offering hiking in your territory, Eli? Well, hiking is very important here in Peru. There are many sportsmen practicing sports in this area. We also have a group of sportsmen. And for example, they decided to do this path in a couple of days. This is a well-known activity, and even nowadays in the pandemic you can carry out this activity. There are some days you cannot go out of your house, you cannot take your car, and this is why this path have become popular, for example. So we think this is a good way to promote environmental tourism, and thanks to trails, paths, etc. And Eli, in your case, do you offer hiking here? Yes, we have a wide variety of hiking activities. The most part of our visitors want to discover these routes. We have companies offering an added value. They offer travels, luggage transfer. You can do this path from 1 day to 7 days. We have a wide offer, and you can combine this activity with other activities. For example, we have one of the most important zip wires in Spain. We also have canoes, bikes. We want to promote local activities and local people. We also have runners, famous runners here, and this is an amazing scenario. Vicente has said so too. These paths, these trails are very attractive for locals, for discover these territories. So we are going to stay with this thought: open air, local communities, social distancing, how to combine all this. Tomorrow we have a new webinar. In this webinar we are going to talk about sustainability, the challenges we are facing, and especially sustainability and hiking in times of COVID. This is the topic of our webinar. We will be here at the same time with Javier Cazorla. And we also have a networking event. And thanks very much to the Island Council of Tenerife. Thanks to every participant. Thank you very much for your presentation. And let's see each other on the road.
Mañana, de todos modos hablamos por teléfono por la mañana.
Sí, sí, tranquilamente.